Good morning, everybody. This is a live training today on a very special subject that is quite close to my heart, very concerned about the times that we're living in. I'm sure many of you might have similar concerns. I speak to parents very often about how glued up to devices and technology their kids are and how many different struggles they have daily to get kids away from computers, PlayStations, etc. And I know you might be working in this digital age as well, feeling a little bit confused about how to get yourself into a safe arrangement with technology. As of course you run a business, you need to be really present and connected to all that's going on all the time. But really, in order to be really productive, we do have to look at this subject in a totally new way, because I think the real challenge that we have nowadays is to be productive and not busy. So if any of you have time and you want to read through an article on the subject, I really recommend a piece of research that I covered in a LinkedIn article all on this subject about the difference between brain chemistry, the neuroscientific impacts of stress and overusing the mind, being very distracted, and what kinds of methods and strategies you can start to implement into your world to actually get a little bit clearer on how to make sure that you are not just going into this overspinning, overwhelmed situation. So when we look at the mindset for this coming age, high achievers are really managing to do specific things totally new to before in business, and they are integrating these aspects, and I'm sure you are also on the move to do exactly that. So let's look at the first aspect of this, and I want to just draw your attention to this one first because it's the easiest and most obvious one that we can all relate to, and it really is about being authentic. Nowadays in the marketplace there might be so much inauthentic talk about being authentic, but really we do have a challenge, each and every one of us, to come into integrity and to be much more truthful and to take the masks off in our public life and have a separation between our personal and public life in some other way that doesn't create a dilemma for us where we have to show something of ourselves that is false or not true. So this is really a type of alignment, a type of integrity and connection between the personal and the public part of who you are, but it's also integrity, right? So if you think about how many times you've been sold a product and you didn't feel like it was honest or really genuine, when the salesperson said that they believe you might be benefited by it, or that it could help you, or that it could change your life, you know what I'm talking about, that inauthentic, not feeling like someone is being honest and truthful with you. So we are in an age right now, as high achievers or people who want to become much more productive and not just busy, where we can draw on this incredible power and respect that is developing in the marketplace for an alignment with who you are personally and who you are publicly. In other words, how to really be in integrity, and this value for honesty and genuine interaction is something new that we're seeing in the world of business. So this is one of the benefits of being in this age, and it will help you achieve at a higher level, because when you have to come into a much more honest way of doing business, you will see that you are challenged quite a lot to actually really consider the other person, be much more in your heart, which was very uncool in the 80s and 90s in business, but now it's becoming a little bit more cool. We have leaders like Mandela and Gandhi and people who are always used as these cliche examples of that. So in business we also have some people who've developed some great products that we really respect, like Facebook's developer and many others. So we are really listening to leaders in our business communities that we are learning from. We get quotes from them and we respond to them. Steve Jobs has been instrumental in teaching people a specific kind of acceptance for the real struggle of business, but also an example of such success. So there's an aspect of that we also feel much more connected to, because I think we all believe the man was a genius, but was also quite in integrity with what he was creating. Another great thing about the time that we're living in that really helps us become much more high in our level of performance, or helps us achieve more, is when we actually can get our heads around one of the greatest challenges in the last century, which is continuing to be a challenge now, but actually there's a lot more benefits and a lot more information and tools on how to really manage this, and it has to do with inclusion and diversity. So this is again a really trendy but very well respected aspect of business nowadays. So when and if you can include people and their varying needs into your business strategy and your business model, or when you are actually including people on your team that are from diverse cultures, you open up different markets and you access different aspects of community, which is also really a lot more honest in the fact that it's much more inclusive and much more accepting of the world the way it really is, as opposed to being really preferential and saying I'm only going to work with this group of people, or I don't really care about that issue, or like what was happening years and years ago was actually discriminating against different groups of people and their needs. So it's quite a key area to be able to include diverse ways of thinking about things as well. We have a really amazing TED Talk by Sir Ken Robinson, who talks so much about the level of thinking children come into nursery schools with, which is really called diversity thinking in psychology. And it means that we are able to move our mind into different channels of thought, generate different ideas, and have different avenues to explore at birth. And unfortunately our educational system totally weans this out of us. It weeds it out like it's a skill that we no longer have at the age of 18. And one of my slogans is that I can help you get that back, because I totally believe in creative thinking, and I think there are very easy ways to actually mobilize this force inside of you and really get good at doing that. And this is another way that diversity is coming back into our way of operating and really helping us to become much more high performance based, so that we are providing solutions. We're thinking about challenging problems we have and ways to solve them in new and interesting ways, and not staying stuck in the box or in our comfort zones, or really quite one-dimensional about the way we relate to the world. So this is another aspect of the diversity and inclusion that allows us to really operate at a much higher level. The third one I want to share with you today, which I think is also really important, is so much information, so much support out there, so many examples of people that are developing a much higher level of work-life balance. And in order to really benefit from this, I think it's really important that you have a sequence or a schedule of how you're going to manage that, right? So how are you going to get this work-life balance going in your life? And each one of us has the challenge to do that. Before it was just sports, and it was perhaps some kind of interaction that you would have with your friends socially, and then you had your job or your business to do. Nowadays we have so much more supporting us in this area, where we have all kinds of spiritual teachings. We have yoga that's become prolific all around the world. We've had many people helping to explain to us the whole chemistry and neurobiology of stress, and how it affects our hormones, how it affects our ability to digest food. We have enormous amounts of people working on diet, nutrition, helping us also stay balanced with our absorption of vitamins and minerals to keep us operating in this day and age. So another very important area where we can really be benefited to perform at a much higher level. So I want you to see if you can apply these three areas in your business, in your workplace, in your lifestyle, because we're all about life, love, and leadership in this group I am really supporting everybody out there to begin to find the ways to love what they do much more, to actually be healthier at work, and to even upgrade, up level your mission, your purpose, and your conviction with what it is that you do every single day. And if it means reconsidering your profession, changing a career, starting a business, or looking for networks and associations that really support you from where you are now and what you're doing, then this is what we need to help you do. If you want to expand and grow and really take on an entire new area of yourself and develop skills and levels of performance that can get you to be a high player in the world right now, I would also really love to support you. So let's see if you can implement these 3 areas. The first one was on bringing a level of real genuine connection between you and people you relate to, either people you employ in your team and you work with, or people that you're doing business with that could become potential clients and or existing clients. How can you share a little bit more about what you know has been difficult for you and how you've mastered it? This is a good way to use disclosure to really help people have more faith in you and to feel where they can trust in your skills and expertise as opposed to trying to sell something a bit obscure. Secondly, look more at how you can include more opinions. Think of things in new and interesting ways. Try to go outside of your comfort zone, out of the box. Look at the various ways that something can be looked at and solved. Diversity. How can you really include this in your business and in your performance each and every day to expand, to grow, and to become much more colorful in the way you work? And the third one is life-work balance. Make sure you are developing that schedule or strategy. If you've been letting it go, start thinking more about it now so that in 2019 or the year coming up ahead of you now, you really have the chance to turn this around when you start scheduling it in and making a system for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to many more times with you, but this one unfortunately has come to an end. And so next time I'll be talking to you about why down is the new up. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.